Okay, so today we are going to turn DMC labels into a kind of fabric that you can do whatever you want with, but I am also going to show you how you can make it into a project bag or two different style project bags. So to start with making the fabric, the first part, you're going to need a ton of labels, parchment paper, maybe use scissors to cut it. This looks terrible. And an iron. And a lot of time. Maybe put a movie on, audiobook, podcast, because this takes a bit of time. But let's do it. Okay, so starting with some. For the style I liked it one of the top ones and one of the ones with the number as a pattern. You're gonna need to have a couple extras because sometimes they don't peel. Or if you find a knack, let me know, because it was hit or miss. I got into a groove a bit there, but basically you need to open them up. Okay, so I kind of was opening them and then ironing them as I went. I guess you could open a ton up and just do a whole ironing section, but I'm gonna open up a top label and a bigger bottom label. Your iron, you're also going to want a couple testers because I'm sure everyone's iron is different. Mine, I put it on the wool setting. Maybe delicate for some of the more powerful ones. Okay, so here's a top, a bottom. Here's my parchment paper. So piece on the bottom, piece on the top. And I'll lay, so it's sandwiched, iron. Voila, flat. So make a pile. I would get a good amount of these finished. I'd say for the back or for one side or a decent square, like 11 inches by 11 inches, which is 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, you need 70 or 80. I'm counting like 70 or 80. They're a pair. So I would start by doing that. Listen to your show, podcast, audiobook, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, so you have a bunch of flat labels. Next, you're going to make strips of them, one on top of each other. So you'll have, I'm going to do 12 inch, which is 30 centimeters. So the big part, this is the design I'm doing. You can do whatever design you'd like. The smaller one, like just alternating. Let me try this way. Parchment down, iron. There's one piece, and then you just repeat. Keep a ruler close by. See how many of these labels you need stuck together to make the desired length you'd like. Okay, I won't bore you with this, but you get the idea. Ooh, how cool is that? Very cool. Okay, so now you have made these strips. I'm doing the 12 by 12, 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 of these strips to make that. So the next step is I'm going to do the pattern like this. So I put one, oh, need to re-iron that. I cut another piece of, or I tore another piece of parchment. I don't know why I am being stubborn about cutting it. It's a little ridiculous. Okay. So just put one layer on top of the other. I'm going to do that kind of design. Oops. Parchment paper down. All the way across. If you hold the iron, you might have already encountered this. Too long, it like shrivels up. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so two are now together. Ooh. Then the next, again, put it down, put the layer on top. Iron. I feel like if you keep moving the iron, there's less chance of disaster. Okay. So iron them all together and then we'll do the next step. Okay, so you've ironed all of your pieces together. You now have your piece of DMC label fabric. I am going to seal all of my pieces in. I'm going to use vinyl, but I realized that not everyone might have vinyl. So I ironed a little test piece here, and I think plastic bags will work just to hold everything down. So I have a plastic bag. Like, in theory, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I'm just going to do vinyl because I have, like, I'm going to do the front part so you can see in, and I have it on hand. Okay, so it's just a square piece of plastic, like from a Ziploc bag, or maybe this is the size of a freezer bag, or just like a grocery bag, some clear plastic, Glad garbage bag. Okay, so I'm just putting it on top. Iron. Okay. This is not working that great. That shrunk a lot. Damn. Okay, gotta find something else. I don't think this is... Here's one side. Okay, this is not the answer. Let me find something else. Okay, here's a Glad bag. Let's see how this does. Okay, do a Glad bag. Or not Glad, sorry, Ziploc bag. Okay, that works way better. So if you have a Ziploc bag, but look, this, maybe it'll work. I don't know if this is the biggest size. A freezer bag. I'm also going to add a piece of iron-on infusible lining on the back because it goes through my sewing machine better with a fabric on the back. You can use any fabric, really. Infusible is what I used and it worked. I don't know if you have it on hand. So that's the next step. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I have fusible interlining on the bottom, this black. My label fabricness on top, and then a piece of vinyl. Then I'm going to put the parchment paper on top. I'm going to iron. I'll just keep checking when it's all smushed together. Okay, so the vinyl, but not the interfacing. Maybe I'll sew that together then. Okay, well maybe you don't need interfacing. You just need any type of fabric backing, I would suggest, just to keep the labels so they don't get flaked off. Okay, so fusible interlining is not necessary. Any type of backing would work. Okay, so next I'm going to pin my square all the way around, and I'm going to sew this all together because I am actually backing it with a fabric that looks better than interfacing. So that's next. This is a Teflon foot. I don't know if domestic machines come with them. If you have one though, I would suggest using them. The metal ones work just fine, but I find the Teflon foots go over plastic a lot easier. Okay, so you have now the square of DMC fabric all locked in. So nothing can get flaked off or anything. This is impossible to serge. Do not serge this. It's a disaster. So because this is not the best look and the inside of my bag will show because I have a vinyl front, I am going to cut a piece of fabric for the inside and also for the gusset, box edge, whatever you call it. So I'm going to cut this the size I need, serge the edges, and I have my back, and I'm going to continue this tutorial making a box edge project bag, not the portfolio. The next tutorial, I'll do the portfolio style bag, but today it's going to be the box edge style bag. So to do the box edge gusset style project bag, you are going to need the back piece of fabric that you made with the, like, a nice inside fabric, because that will show. A zipper. This is like just to pull the bag closed. That's optional. 2 pieces for the zipper. 3 pieces for the box edge. This is for the plaque face. So we got 2 sides and a top and bottom. This is the lining to these sides because these are a bit ugly, and now I know interfacing is not necessary, so I won't do that step. This is then going to go over the front, so there's going to be a pocket. So those are all the supplies now to make a box edge project bag. I'm going to serge all my pieces. You do not need to do that, but it stops the fabric from fraying, so it's optional. Tab, you have your zipper. So for the box edge, I did mine about 2 inches. You can do however deep, if your project that you want to fit in it is huge, you can do a deeper box edge. This one's 2 inches. Sorry, which is 5 centimeters. Then for the zipper, fold over, iron down a little lip. Same with the other side. That's for your zipper. So that's all the prep you have to do for that part. That's to do your box. Okay, so now for the plaque face, you're going to need the two side, left and right, and the lining that's going to go behind it. And again, the two pieces for the bottom and the lining that's going to go behind it. Then the piece of vinyl is going to go down on top of the whole face. And the back is going to have to get sewn down like the lining, just to where the two strips of the DMC labels are. Hopefully that makes sense, but I'll show you. Anyways, so leave the lining parts to the side. We're just going to work on the DMC label pieces here. So we're just trying to make a frame. I need to make sure, or everyone needs to make sure, that it fits the same size as the back that you've done. So make sure that that all lines up nicely. And then you can cut the excess if there's any excess. Again, if you're using the Ziploc bag, maybe just make sure the bag is that size. If you have access to vinyl, it's a great alternative as well. So there's the vinyl down. Parchment paper on top. And I'm just going to iron. I'm not going to iron where there's no labels. I'm just going to iron. Check. Oh, needs a bit more heat. I know the sound of the parchment is really annoying, sorry. Okay. So then move that to the side, or turn it over, rather. And now the lining that you cut is gonna go see all this? Sorry. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the machine. Well, pin this because you're going to sew this square all the way around. All right, so I have pinned all the way around to secure the back to the front. I don't want to dissuade anyone from sewing one of these, but this is not forgiving fabric. Once you pin, you can't make any mistakes. Pin and sew once, because once you poke holes, it's plastic. So you can't, it's not forgiving. So here we go. I'm going to sew all the way around on the machine. I've pinned it where I know stitches will go over top. And when it's finished, I'm not going to serge the outside either. And also at the same time, I'm going to do the box edge gusset. So here's the plaque face. See, vinyl, see-through. Then here's the box edge. Here's the zipper. And now let's put all the pieces together. Okay, so the zipper is going to go at the top. Make sure your numbers are the right way. I'm going to use as few pins as possible. And then the bottom should match up nicely to the bottom. You can use as many pins as you want, but maybe make the space in between them big, or there's those things that are like clips. That might be better for this application. Okay, so the bottom is all done. I'm gonna sew this first before adding the top part. So this is now all sewn. Now the top part, sandwich it like face to face, pin all the way around again, like pin up here. The top. And the bottom. So that's all pinned again, and I'm going to sew this all together. Okay, so we have it all sewn together. Now this is the most annoying part, to be honest. Flipping the bag inside out. So undo the zipper all the way. I try to push in one corner, then the other corner. I don't know, it sucks. You just have to gently do it. It's not fun. You'll do it slowly but surely. Okay, so take your time turning it inside out. Get all the corners out. Nice. Zipper. Make sure the zipper works. Well, make sure the zipper works before this point. That would suck. And there you go. There is your project bag. Oh my gosh, that's fun. Okay, I'll do the other style next. Thanks.